Hey guys, I want to talk to you about repressed memories or blocked memories or whatever they call it. It's got lots of names. And dissociation. Like I mentioned before, if you watched any of my other videos, I don't have a lot of memory of my childhood other than maybe a few feelings around it and a few bits and pieces from different things that might have happened. When I think about my childhood, I think about it mostly as good, but I don't really have a lot of specific memories about things good or bad. And I have been working in counseling to figure out why some of the things. You can hear my dog drinking in the background. Every time I hit record, my dogs start making some weird noise. Anyway, trying to figure out why I have some, trying to get to the root of my depression and my lack of self-worth and that kind of thing. So in counseling, you always talk about your childhood and the way you were brought up and things that may have affected you, changed you, altered your processing, whatever. So trying to talk about those things I don't even really remember. And even in talking about things from my high school years, specific things that, my husband remembers me. Oh, just a minute. Those dogs, I tell you. Anyway, I have large gaps in my memory. And I can't put, specific, even in my adult life, I'll have large gaps in different times that I can't remember. I can't remember things. I can't remember a lot of things. There's been some years that I have no recollection of. And, of course I did some research. Of course I did research. We love to research. We love to learn about things as INFJs. And I love to research. I always have. So of course I did research, and then I came up with this term, or I didn't come up with this term, but I came across the term dissociation. And if you go down that rabbit hole, you can find all kinds of things about dissociation. If you start watching YouTube videos on dissociation, it's very interesting. It's very interesting how the brain works. And what it is it's basically a coping mechanism that your brain does to save you from experiencing what your brain considers as trauma. Now, I have no memory of any trauma, of any, horrible events that happened to me as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. I don't have a lot of good memories either. I just have nothing. My husband can remember things from his childhood that are so specific. I mean, he can tell you every teacher that he had in elementary school and middle school, and I can maybe name one or two. And I can tell you what the feeling was like going to school, but I can't remember specifics. So, and there's large gaps, of course, in my adult life that I don't remember. Time periods where things were harder for me for whatever reason that I can't remember a lot of. Some of that makes me pretty sad because, there's large portions of one of my children's babyhood that I don't remember. Very little of that baby do I remember. So I have been, researching this dissociation and what causes it and why it happens and how to stop it. The problem with stopping it is that once your brain kind of learns this coping mechanism, that's its preferred method of dealing with whatever it deems to be trauma. And now at this point, I kind of recognize when I'm going into a dissociative state. I get this. It's usually when something's happening that, let's just do something simple to explain dissociation if you've never experienced it. When you're driving to work or you're driving to the store and you all of a sudden arrive there and you don't remember driving there. That's dissociation, and that is normal. And your brain kind of does that, because it doesn't really need to be on. It goes on autopilot. But a person that dissociates, I guess in an unhealthy way, will dissociate large portions, not just boring things like driving to work. So it happened the other day. Well, it happens, I don't know how often it happens, because it's not something that was really in my awareness until recently. And I now recognize most of the time, I think, when it starts happening. And it is like, I'll be doing something, I'll be talking to somebody, something will be happening, and I get this like kind of warm, comfortable, spacing out sort of feeling. Sometimes I will feel almost a little bit dizzy, and I'll have a little bit of vision disturbance, like my vision is going into tunnel vision. And then, then I'll dissociate, and then I'll, probably lose memory of what happened in the next whatever few minutes. But now that I'm starting to recognize it, I have learned that I can focus on an object. It was happening the other day while I was doing dishes, and I was having a conversation, and the conversation got uncomfortable for me, and something was brought up that I did not want to talk about. And I had to focus on the temperature of the water, how because I was doing the dishes. So how the temperature of the water, how I was going to scrub off this cooked on chunk of food that was stuck to this plate. But anyway, I had to keep myself in the moment so that I did not dissociate away, because even though I didn't want to talk about that thing, just going into the back of your brain is not always helpful. But anyway, enough about my own dissociation. I am realizing that I do it. I don't know how long I've done it. I obviously have done it quite a bit in my childhood, in my teenage years, and early adulthood, because I have large gaps. Now, those memories, of course, are in my subconscious. I always would like to know, where do I go when I dissociate, and how am I still having a conversation if my conscious brain is not remembering it? And obviously, no one's ever mentioned all of a sudden you turn into a zombie and stop talking and laid on the floor. So I'm still functioning, I'm still talking. But what I want to know from you guys is, because I've read that, INFJs are prone to dissociation, and a lot of them struggle with it. And I'm wondering, is it actually dissociation? Am I just going into my introverted intuition la la land? Am I just being avoidant because I don't want to deal with things, I don't want to talk about everything? Or is this something that we struggle with? I know that probably every personality type has dissociation, but I want to know, from you guys, is this something that you experience? What do you do about it? Is it something you notice? And how is it affecting you? I would like to stop doing it, but, my brain wants to do it. I am working, of course, in therapy on digging up some of those memories that I've repressed from my childhood to try to figure myself out. So, yeah, let me know, guys. And yeah, let me know. I think that's it. I also want to add that, doing these videos and listening, reading your comments and your feedback and everything has really helped me to be more self-aware of what's going on inside my mind, and it has helped me to stay in the moment. So if, dissociation and, just packing all your memories into your subconscious and not remembering things is something that you do, you might want to think about talking to yourself on a camera like I do every day. I know I'm talking to people because you guys watch me and you comment, so I am talking to people, but it has been incredibly helpful. And I keep saying that. I feel like I'm saying it every video. I'm so repetitive, but it has been incredibly helpful for me to be self-aware and stay in the moment and stay present to do these every day. So even if you have no intention of posting them anywhere, and if you're not a journaler, you know, try recording yourself and watching it back and then, you know, thinking on it. So anyway, have a great day, guys. I appreciate you. Live and love out of the way you were created. See you next time.